on Saturday, September 23rd from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Alkaline Oasis in Brooklyn. Baba Ashra, Kwesi, and Kwesi returns to Brooklyn, New York after 4 years. Get your early bird tickets right now by texting 347-496-1022. Remember, they'll be teaching about the ancient history of Africa, Kemet, and also they're going to touch on Cleopatra. So get your tickets, 347-496-1022. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers. It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Family, how you doing? It's your brother King Simon broadcasting live. Want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in and keeping it locked at the 9 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. of course Central Time. We will have Baba Ashra Kwesi for a special quick broadcast to let everybody know what to expect, of course, real quick, and why he's coming to New York. Now, we were supposed to broadcast with Mr. G, but Mr. G had to handle some business, some very important business with the restaurant and making sure everything is secure. So we decided to go on live, and don't forget that Baba Ashra Kwesi, will be on with Brother Rich tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune into that. Get your tickets right now. You can go to Linktree/King Simon, the numerator. We're broadcasting on IG. We're broadcasting on Facebook. We're broadcasting on YouTube. And we're broadcasting on Twitter right now. And Baba Ashra Kwesi will be with us at 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock his time. Now, those who have this particular flyer, if you take a snapshot of this flyer and bring it to the door, you will get a discount, a $10 discount at the door. It will be a $10 discount at the door if you take a snapshot or bring the actual flyer to the door. If you can't buy it through Linktree, if you're not able to do it through PayPal or Cash App, you can actually go and bring this flyer or take a snapshot of it, whether on my IG or whether you see it on any kind of advertisement. If you can catch a snapshot of this particular flyer and bring it to the door, it says it right on the bottom, discount at the door, with snapshot or actual flyer. Bring it to the door and we will discount you from the door price. So come on out. It's going to be big. It's going to be at the new Alkaline Oasis. And let me show you some of the venue. Got some of the venue right here. This is a picture of it, just showing you what's going on. That's what it is. It won't be set up like that. That side is where the vendors will be at, of course. It's a nice place with good alkaline drinks, good alkaline food, and it's going to be a great alkaline presentation by Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mama Matrilineal Kwesi. So it's going to be a very excellent event. So make sure y'all come out. Make sure you come out. If you can go to my Linktree, no problem. You can go to my Linktree if you want to bring those tickets. Go to Eventbrite through my Linktree, or you can text me at 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. How's everybody doing? Instagram, how y'all doing? I see y'all Instagram. I see y'all in Facebook land at King Simon Production, also at Twitter land at King Simon Prod, and also on YouTube at King Simon Presents. Only quality people. Please share this because Baba Ashra Kwesi is about to come up momentarily right here on King Simon Presents. Only quality people. I hope to see y'all out there, man. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful event in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, right there at Halsey and Broadway. You can take the 26 bus. If you're in Brooklyn, you can take the 26 bus all the way down towards Bushwick, get off right there before the train station. The bus stop is right in front of the venue, right there off the 26th Street and Halsey stop at Broadway. And also, do remember that the J train, you could take the J train to Halsey. Take the J train to Halsey and come straight on across the street. We're right there across the street from Dunkin' Donuts, and that's the Alkaline Oasis. So I'm proud of Mr. G. He's doing a great job over there, doing great work. So we're happy, we're proud, and we can't wait to see what Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi have in store for the audience in New York. Remember, Baba Ashra Kwesi haven't been to New York in approximately 4 years. And Mother Mira Kwesi have not spoken in New York probably for 6 years, 6 or 7 years. So I can't wait to see what she brings, because I know she's going to bring it hardcore, hard body, and she's going to teach from the goddess of ancient Africa, ancient Kemet, all of the ancient ones. And of course, Baba Ashra Kwesi is going to bring it. So I'm waiting for him right now. I think he's backstage. I'm waiting for him right now to turn on his camera. His camera's off. Waiting for him to turn on his camera, and then we can make it happen. Once he turns on the camera, then we'll have him on to bring it in. I hope everybody's doing well. His camera is off. I'm still trying to get him on. He might have to come off and come back on. His camera seemed to be off. But again, we're going to be at the Alkaline Oasis. That's the venue right there. It's a nice, long, narrow venue, but it's a very nice space. And at the front part, that's where the Alkaline. Okay, I see him coming on. I see him in the background, getting ready. Just want to show some of the people how the place looks. I'm going over there on Friday to hook it up. So it's going to be a beautiful event right here in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York is going to be off the hook. It will not be the same again with Baba Ashra Kwesi. And again, if you are in New York City, Brooklyn, New York, it's going to be at 958 Halsey Street in Brooklyn. That's Brooklyn, New York at 11238. That's 11233. That's the zip code of that area. But it's near Broadway, right there. The 26 bus goes there. The J train goes there. And if you're going to take the A train to Junction, Broadway Junction, and then take the J train towards Manhattan, you'll get there, get off in 2 stops, and you'll be right there across the street. And we're gonna have a good time. So I see Baba Ashra Kwesi in the background. Let me make sure. I don't know if he's ready. If he says he's ready, we could do it. I think he's ready. Okay. I'm watching you in the background. I ain't put you up yet, Baba. I did not put you up yet. I'm gonna make sure you're all right. Go ahead, do your thing. And when you nod your head and say yeah, just say nod your head and say you're ready, and I'm good. Nod your head. Just shake your head. All right. You ready? All right. You're talking in the background. I don't have you up yet. I do not have you up yet. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure you're ready, and then we're going to go in. All right, I see you. Good. All right, let's bring on the great Baba Ashra Kwesi right here. I don't have my bell and whistles today because I'm outside. I'm in New York promoting, and I believe Baba Ashra Kwesi is there. How you doing, Baba?
Hey, my brother. How's everything? Brother King Simon, Nesu Simon.
Yes, sir. How you doing? How you doing? How you feeling today?
I'm doing good. I'm just messing with. I got another camera here, so that's why I wasn't on. I was trying to get it to work. It's a better quality, but I'll use the computer camera.
Well, it looks good anyway, Baba. It looks good. First and foremost, thank you very much for coming on at such a short notice. I know Mr. G was handling some very serious business at the restaurant, at the place where we're going to be speaking, so I didn't want to disturb that. So I said, let me come on and let's do it on his platform, and we'll make it happen, because you're coming in on Saturday. You're coming in on Saturday for this event, and I'm letting everybody know real quick that if they show this flyer, a snapshot, they get a discount at the door with this flyer. If they show this snap, but if you can buy the tickets, early tickets, no problem. You can always go to my Linktree /King Simon, the numerator, and anybody that got an email from Baba Ashra Kwesi, I will honor that price that they sent via email. You just got to let me know, because I know a lot of his peoples out here have received an email. First and foremost, how's your day? How's everything over there, Baba?
Oh, everything's great, brother. We're trying to still cool it off here in Dallas. We're cool at 95.
That's cool. Look,
we're cool at 95.
Look here, Baba. I used to live in Canada, so I know it's different.
Yeah.
It's different in Canada, but well, New York right now is looking good. I'm here. I'm staying at my mother's house until she's 84 years old. She watches what's going on, and and I'm glad to be here, man, with her, and just enjoy. I had to cut down some trees in her backyard today, which was something else. So
you're doing the same thing we're doing, taking care of the elders, brother.
Exactly. Even when I'm not here, we still do what we got to do. And first and foremost, Baba, you haven't been here in 4 years. 4 years, of course, due to the pandemic. Whatever happened, whatever they did, and then, but your sister, Mother Mary, I haven't spoken here in probably 6 years.
It's been the last time we were at the Black Theater in Harlem.
Yeah, she haven't spoken since.
Right. She was dealing with the Black Lions.
Exactly. So it's been around 6 years. So for her to come and do a presentation that she don't regularly do, that's going to be very interesting. Let's talk about the presentation that she's going to open up with before you get on.
Okay. Well, actually, this will be the first time she will lecture in the States with that lecture. Mm-hmm. We generally have that lecture for the educational program that we do in Kemet. Called Egypt Today, and that's the African goddess, the spiritual foundation of ancient Kemet, which is very powerful because she deals with Mutnetchit, or Mother Nature, and how our ancestors, from their empirical observation of Mutnetchit, observing how they saw the whole feminine principle of the universe and everything that they observed. Right. And she's going to be getting deep into that and showing how the various zoomorphic forms and how our ancestors had keen observation of these various zoomorphic forms that gave them a higher spiritual consciousness, as well as spiritual science that we have to look at. When the Europeans came there, they didn't understand the spiritual science of Mutnetchit or Mother Nature. They just saw it as animal worship. So Mary Ra is going to break that down, and she's going to get deep into that. And sorry that she's not on here now, but my father-in-law Baba, he's just like my father. He's 100 years old.
Man, 100 years old.
So he lives right around the corner. So we do a lot to make sure that he doesn't end up in type of nursing care facilities and things of that nature. So we're here to take care of him.
Let's talk about that real quick, because I remember either Dr. Ben or Dr. Clark said there was no word in Kemet for nursing home.
Right. Right. Exactly. Right. Yes. We didn't have that in the African society.
Yes. Why is that from your perspective? And now that you've studied for all these years, why is that? Please.
Well, first of all, Kemet was based off of family. Okay. Yes. Africa. Let me include the whole, because I got the whole African continent behind me. So we have to look at that. It might be Kemet without the whole spiritual system coming out of the Kui land. Okay. The land of the original Taneta land, the original Holy Land. Right. So again, they saw that spiritual balance. They saw the family. That's what they observed. In fact, in their spiritual consciousness, they saw God and goddess as a family. They could not conceive of a spiritual deity that we refer to as God today as not having a wife, right, or the children. So in these various spiritual centers, you see that, like, for instance, when we look at Waset, in Upper Kemet, you have Amen, you have the goddess, okay, the Neter Hemp of Amen, he being a Neter Hedge, divine husband, she the divine wife. They also had a son named Kansu. Okay, so in that spiritual realm, they saw the family. So, of course, if you've got a spiritual consciousness observing that God has a wife, God has a child, what are you going to do? All right, that's based off of the spiritual dialectical laws of opposites. Peace be upon him, and may his spirit fly on the wings of our ancestors for eternity. And Dr. Ben always dealt with the spiritual dialectical laws of opposites. Right. Now, of course, we're dealing with some is-fit forces now. So they try and defy nature and everything else, and dealing with some other madness when having men with men and women with women. That's is-fit. That was evil. That's right. As our ancestors saw it. So they saw the whole spiritual consciousness as a family. So that's how they observed it. And of course, having a family, you're not going to take your father or your grandbaba and then put them away for some strangers to take care of them. Right. And of course, they're not going to take the best care of them that you would actually take care of. So, we have to do the best that we can to help them as much as we can. So fortunately, my mother and father-in-law, they live right around the corner. So that helps a whole lot. And unfortunately, many cases today, We have children who move far away, and then when their parents get older, then they struggle trying to see them or try to take care of them. Right. And unfortunately, they may end up in nursing homes and have these bad quality care and all those types of things.
Right.
But and to answer to your question,
yeah,
the whole spiritual realm had the spiritual family. Whether that's dealing with Ptah, Sekhmet, and Nefertum, or even we're dealing with even deep down into Ta-Nehisi or Nubia. You also see Khnum, and also we see Setet, and also Anubis.
Right. Right.
And, so a spiritual consciousness. But in Ta-Nehisi, most of the time you see the male baby, but in Ta-Nehisi, it's a female. Okay, so here you're getting close to the spiritual matrilineal system of Africa, dealing around the goddess back to Mary-Ra again.
Right, right. You know what's so interesting, Baba, is that a lot of people they marvel at a lot of the things that you show at your presentation, especially when you take people on the journey to the writings on the wall. But a lot of people don't come back and practice the spiritual nuances behind what's happening, because I think the physical and the spiritual should work together. Why is that? Sometimes they just come back with the information and don't want to practice the spirituality of it.
Well, I've seen some people who have gone on to do bigger and better things, okay, depending on what field of work they're in. One may not deal with the spiritual aspect of it, but they may even become a better person, okay, and working in the things that they do.
Right.
And may go on to create other things and even businesses and things. These are some of the things that I have seen.
Right.
But above all, I've seen it does make a person a better person. Now, keep in mind that unfortunately we don't have institutions, all right, spiritual centers on a nationwide level, like we see churches, mosques, and synagogue and places where someone to go to get that reinforcement. Most of the time it ends up where you have to do on your personal journey.
Okay.
All right. And of course, on your personal journey, you have to work.
Right.
You have to do the research. You have to have a library. You have to read. You have to study. In some cases, because we're trapped in this system, to help pick up the gross national product, a lot of people are working 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day, and then they're drained and have very little to give back. Right. And I've always said, if every Black man and woman in America just put 5% back, we'd be out of this. We'd be out of this oppression tomorrow. Unfortunately, the system sucks the best out of us. Yes. But I've seen that it has made a lot of people better people. Of course, they may not, have all the spiritual ideas, and it's a continuation. You're constantly learning. I'm still learning. I've been going to Kemet for 42 years now, and wow. Right, and I'm still on the surface. I've always said, it's like a massive jigsaw puzzle. You have a piece, and you master your piece and make sure that piece fits with us as an African people. And that's what we have to do, is go forward. But as long as you don't come back with it's fit,
that's right,
and become evil after making a spiritual journey back to the continent, back to the original Taneter land, by the way. Right. All right. That's the original Holy Land, where all others came and copied that idea from ancient Kemet, but that was the original place.
Now, people that are just tuning in, we have Baba Ashra Kwesi with us. Please support Baba Ashra Kwesi, support the whole Kwesi family. His PayPal is kemetnu at sbcglobal.com. That's kemetnu at sbcglobal.com. You can share some love that way. Also, please go to his website. That's www.kemetnu.com, www.kemetnu.com. And remember, family, y'all see me advertise this all the time on my platform. So if you want to take this 15-day trip and book that trip today for the next one that he got coming up, call their office at 214-371-0206. That's 214-371-0206. Very important. Mention my name now, so King Simon can be a part of that number.
Right. We want to get King Simon over there too.
Yeah, got to get some things get cleared up. But what's so interesting, Baba, that both of you are coming, and I like to bring the male and female dynamic to the lectures, even if one of the brothers, if like sometimes I bring Phil Valentine, his wife can't make it, I'll definitely have an opening woman to open up to, lay the foundation. Like last time I had your daughter open up and all that kind of stuff in Georgia, because we want to keep the balance. Why is it so important for children to see the balance, especially of mom and dad? Because too much is going on in the school system. They're teaching our children about all kinds of craziness, as you just mentioned earlier. Why is it so important? That's why the children are free, 13 years and younger, to come to the event. Children 13 years and younger are absolutely free. So talk about that real quick.
Well, it goes right back to what we said earlier.
Yes, sir.
When our ancestors observe in their spiritual realm, and saying that God had a wife, okay, God had also a child, okay,
yes.
Like I said, Amen, Mutton, Kansu. So of course we saw that's what we're supposed to do. So children equally looking up at us as the parents, yes. And they see us as a family. Then of course they're going to go on to create a family. But if you got some other ISFET forces operating and trying to create a family with two men, together, and two women together, okay, then that's not a family.
No.
That's chaos. Okay, and that's
exactly.
And that's chaos. That's chaos. That's what ISFET brings.
Right.
Chaos. So we have to be there as representatives so our children can see ourselves. Right. Okay, I have 3 girls and 3 boys. All right, they're 3 young ladies now and 3 young men now. All right, yes, and 13 grandchildren. All right, so again, that's family. All yes, right. Sir. By they equally have their families now. This is what creates the African nation. You're yes, not going to have a nation without the African family. We have to have that after the African family. Without the African family, we are no more.
And Baba, and you're absolutely right, and that's what people keep on forgetting. And I posted something on my Instagram where this white man was explaining that if you put 100 100 women and 10 men on an island, you get a whole thriving family in 100 years. But if you put 100 men and 10 trans women, you'll have 110 men skeleton. You'll have 110 skeletons at the end of in the next 100 years.
Well, this is all about, keep in mind, this is Western behavior, started with the Greeks and Romans. Okay, that's why in ancient Kemet, when they came there, they said they had strange ways. All yes. Right. So again, they've had, it's like trying to control the natural forces of nature itself.
Exactly.
Right? And not only control it, but manipulate it and make it go against its natural self.
Exactly.
And this is what we see out here today.
One of the major debates, quote unquote, is about the Medu Neter being translated. I know all of it has not, but people do know the words, and some have done it. So what do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, again, keep in mind, a lot of people, as Dr. Ben said, you can't become an armchair scholar.
That's true.
All right. Sometimes a lot of things are said today is said to create controversy, because controversy sells. All right. And generally the person who says it, because they're ignorant, and don't know it, then they don't want nobody else to know it. Right. So now I agree. All of the Medu Neter, cannot be interpreted. All right. You have different periods. You have, as Petrie refers to as pre-dynastic. I mean, it's all part of the dynastic period, but he refers to as pre-dynastic. And you also have what is called the archaic period. And you also have the Middle Kingdom, and you also have the New Kingdom and Late Kingdom. Keep in mind, in the New Kingdom, in some cases, they could not read the Old Kingdom. All right. So keep in mind, it was a cryptographic. Now, the cryptographic is that the Karihabs are priests that wrote in a way only for them to interpret ideas. But at the same time, there was an esoteric and exoteric interpretation of concepts that they had. Right. But especially in the New Kingdom, King Simon, it was very repetitious. It's very repetitious. So ideas that we see, the names that we see of the Nisus or the kings, and concepts that we see have come down to us today, in many cases through biblical terms like Septepen Ra. All right, Septepen Ra. All right, that means he's chosen by Ra. This is where later on Jews get God's chosen children out of that. Sa-Ra. You see Sa-Ra. Okay, it's always associated with the Nisu's name, Sa-Ra. That means it's the son of Ra. Later on, the Christians copied that, and then it becomes the son of God. All right. So there are many concepts that we can see this in the Medu Neter that's very important. And there are those out there who are studying the Medu Neter, and we have to respect those who are studying and researching the Medu Neter. Kemet has many parts, many pieces. It's like I said, it's a jigsaw puzzle, and people have various interests in various areas.
Yes.
So an African mind created it. So why can't an African mind interpret it? So just to stay out there and say, okay, the Medu Neter can't be interpreted. Okay, that's just trying to keep the people ignorant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was like saying, you know, somebody can't read. You know, if you keep telling a child you can't read, well, the child will never read.
Exactly.
To get out there and tell people the Medu Neter cannot be interpreted, then we have young geniuses out here that may not become interested in studying it because they said it can never be interpreted because some egotistical maniac themselves can't read it. Okay, then they just throw that out there. All right. And then Negroes, because of the way the social media, okay, and the trolls they just run with it because it becomes big controversy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, the Medu Neter at different periods is it's written in different periods. Okay, and you got, like I said, in the pre-dynastic period, a lot of that cannot be interpreted. But the New Kingdom, especially when you see of the 18th dynasty, the monuments and over, you can read the Medu Neter and different concepts that are in it. And I think anyone who has an interest in linguists and studying the Medu Neter, study it. Don't let these people run out here and just tell you that when you have that African genius, as Dr. Richard King said in his African Origin of Biological Psychiatry, we have a genetic memory bank. And in that genetic memory bank of our Africanness, we have a genius in there.
Yes.
Right? But we can't let some egotistical armchair scholars sit up. They ain't probably been to Kemet once or not at all. All right. And say that it cannot be interpreted.
I'm still trying to find that book that you just mentioned because they said it's out of print.
A lot of books are going out of print because we're not reading anymore. We're on the social media. Okay, we're on the crackernet. I mean the internet. Okay,
crackernet.
Well, we don't own it. It ain't ours.
Exactly. It isn't ours, you know. I'm not going to keep him here for long. I just want to remind all of the family that this coming Saturday is a very important event because I'm taking my show to Georgia anyway. So I wanted to bring Baba in after 4 years. So New York, I don't know when I'm going to come back and do an event here. Right. But Georgia is a stopping ground for me right now. We're
always honored, brother, that you out here on the front line, keeping up with Bobby Wright refers to as a communiversity.
Communiversity.
The communiversity. We got to educate, to liberate, because every 20 years they know a new generation is out there, and that's one of the things that you mentioned in the advertisement. That's why we're going to touch on this Cleopatra thing.
Yes, sir.
Because here I have the magazine of 32 years ago. All right. Mm-hmm. They had it on the magazine. It was Cleopatra Black. But see, the reason why they keep throwing that up there is because they want to keep us in that Ptolemaic era, because they were on the scene. All right. Now, my argument is they can have Cleopatra. All right. That's my argument on the whole thing. Let's deal with Utmost Nefertari. Okay. Let's deal with many of the Sobek Neferu and many of the other African queens of deep into Kemetic history and dynastic period, long before some Cleopatra. You see, but the point is that even in their own documentaries, they're trying to make it look like it's just an Afrocentrism thing. All right. But Europeans themselves have their own documentaries in the DNA of Asenawe, that's Cleopatra's sister, and saying that she had African DNA and African blood. Now, first of all, when the Greeks came in, the Alexander Barbarian that our children are taught to call the Great, and nothing great about him. He came in, as a plunderer, or even though as a mercenary to fight the Persians. But what's a mercenary going to do once they come in and rule? They take over as well. All right. But coming in at this time, we see that this is when the Greeks were there for 300 years. All right. After his death, his general Ptolemy took over. That was 300 years of the Ptolemaic period, a murderous dynasty. They were killing each other to be on the throne and all these things. But at the same time, they don't come in with their wives. No conquering army comes in riding in there with their wives. Is that right?
That's right.
What does an army do when they come in? Pillage. So you mean to tell me that the Greeks came in and they never touched none of the Kemetic women? All right. Now, keep in mind, the area that they came in is in the Delta. Okay. Alexandria. That's the area where many invasions came in at from the time of the Hyksos in 1675 BCE, from the time of the Hittites, from the time of the Assyrians, as I said, the Persians. We see the Ottoman Empire. Okay. The Ottomans. Okay. The French, the British, all these people came into the Delta. So you got a mixture of a whole lot of people there.
Yes.
But still in Upper Kemet, you still have melanated. Melanin means black color. All right. So you have people who are black there. But for this whole thing with the Netflix, okay, making this thing about Cleopatra with Jada Pickett, making a big old fuss over her being black. Again, a lot of this is associated with the white supremacist Egyptologists, all right, who are going over there to Egypt and trying to neutralize the African knowledge that's been put out by great scholars, going back all the way to Dr. Ben, Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop, Drusilla Houston Dungy, and many others. All right, Martin Delaney, even way back during his time. All right, so again, they're trying to neutralize this African knowledge because they want Kemet as Hegel in the 1700s and during his time when he said that Egypt was part of the European world, just literally cut Egypt out. So a lot of times when you tell people you're going to Africa, you say, where are you going? You say, I'm going to Egypt. And they say, Egypt is not in Africa because that's Hegel. There are 54 countries on the African continent and Egypt is one of them. And we don't, we recognize the whole African continent, not just Egypt. That's what you see behind me.
Yes.
The whole African continent. All right. Because after all, Egypt did not become Egypt on its own. It's a spiritual system. And the black part of Egypt, our ancestors acknowledged. Yes. And they acknowledged it through the little Twa, who's called Bes in Egypt, and also called the Batwa, all right, that I have visited them, which I have in my lecture. And this is where stories have been told down through the dynastic period, going all the way back to the time of the Old Kingdom with Harkuf, who made an expedition to the interior of Africa. They didn't make an expedition to Europe. They didn't make an expedition to Asia. They definitely didn't make an expedition to outer space with extraterrestrials. They made an expedition to the Kui land. And they have the representation of these little Twa, okay, called Bes in Egypt everywhere, acknowledging their beginning, coming up out of that Great Lakes regions of Africa right there. So, and that's the part that we're going to deal with as I have this lecture titled The Black African Origin of Ancient Kemet, or Ancient Egypt, the Stolen Legacy, and showing how a lot of things that these secret societies don't want to reveal. Yes, sir. They've been practicing ancient Kemet secretly. Yep. And that's been the fear. All right. That we're exposing information. After all, even the very dollar bill that you got in your pocket got a pyramid on it. It got the eagle on it, trying to represent Haru, got the eye of her. It got all this is on there. Right? So we can see that America's foundation was built off of ancient Kemet. Yes. So of course now they're trying to Europeanize it. And like it had no African association whatsoever. In fact, they just recently found that I think one of the reasons why that Cleopatra thing came up because they were covering up the new documentation and anthropological research that they found with the earliest African man they found in Egypt. Yes. Okay. And through their photogrammetry, they were able to reconstruct him and clearly saw him as an African man. It was covered up, okay, through the whole Cleopatra debate, was she black or not? So it didn't get the exposure that it should have gotten, but I have it in my lecture.
But we not, like I said, Bob, I'm not going to keep you long, but I do want to talk about this Kemet new production and the great journey you take people on when you go there, taking
that's my father and mother and father-in-law right there.
Your mother and father-in-law, yes, and your beautiful wife also. So tell them about that, and when is the next one, and can they call now and contact you now through the website about the next trip, please?
Yes, our brother King Simon. Yeah, well, we just got back, as you know, last month. All right. So now we have to finalize everything for 2024. Yes. And that involves the renegotiation for the new prices. Everything changed in terms of prices, not by much, but it does change. And we have to wait till we get the new prices from our ground operators in Egypt and also Egypt Air. And then we'll have the new brochures out about the end of October, beginning of November. But in the meantime, you can either call us, or send an email and send us your email and we'll put you on the list.
That's
okay.
Right.
And then once we have the brochures ready, we'll send it out to your email list. And then also, if you saw this on King Simon, okay, then please mention King Simon. They'll say I saw it on the show. And then we want to give respect to King Simon for the work that he's doing to keep these community universities going.
Yes.
Okay, so but you can go to our website. King Simon's got the website up there now, and a lot of pictures there. And the itinerary will be the same. It's a 15-day trip. In fact, a 4-day cruise to Nubia also. And so we have many brothers and sisters of all walks of life, okay, coming from all over the continental U.S., as well as England, the Caribbean, so islands, from all over.
Right.
And we generally have to do 2 tours. We've been doing 2 tours for the last 10 years because of the popularity of our tours are very large. This past summer, it was 238 people split up in 2 separate groups. Wow. So each group is 15 days each. You have group 1 and group 2. So it's the same tour. It's just that the cruise can only handle 115 people. Right. So because of that, we have to split the group up with tour 1 and tour 2. So this past summer, it was in July going into August, and it'll be around the same as this time as well. But just send us your email, and we'll make sure we get it out to you.
Last thing. Before the late great Dr. Ben transitioned, what was his last and final wish as far as what you're doing today? What was his last wish, as far as you would say?
We're keeping the education for liberation.
Yes,
all right. Keep in mind the tours that we do to Egypt. It would not be happening if it was not for Dr. Ben.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Ben is the one that opened up the way. He is the wet is it's referred to in ancient Kemet, the opener of the way. Yes. He's the one that opened this up for us. Prior to that, a lot of people went to Egypt as looky-loos, and there's still a lot of groups go there as looky-loos. All right. We don't go there as looky-loos. I spent 14 years apprenticeship under Dr. Ben.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's where I'm getting the information right there in the field with the Grand Master himself. But without him, this would not happen. Prior to that, as I said, churches would go there and they would see the pyramids and the so-called, the Charleston Heston and the winter story in their head. So Pharaoh built and all this mess, and they go into Israel. But when Dr. Ben opened it up, especially when he wrote his book, Black Man of the Nile. Yes. And that book fired up a whole generation, and I'm one of those people.
That's right.
All right. When I met him back in 1973 at Long Beach State, and he was talking about ancient Africa, which at that time I did not know a lot of the information that he was talking about. And Dr. Ben always went for the jugular vein. All right. And the jugular vein was the European Western white supremacy religion. All right. And the civilization. In fact, one of his most powerful book, Cultural Genocide. All right, in the Black African Studies curriculum, all right, in our Black theologians and Black clergy without a Black theology. So Dr. Ben was definitely dealing with the area that needed to be dealt with because the enemy has become the deity in the spiritual subconscious of our mind. All right, so that's where the war is at. So he wanted to make sure that the educational programs that we are doing, that we continue doing them and not just to become a looky-loo operation. So our tour is based off of education. Before we even get there, we have lectures. Before you even get to the site, you know a lot about the site. And for those who we know, sometimes people have saved for years to go on the trip.
That's right.
And people from all walks of life have come on the trip, and we experienced a lot of things. Like, for instance, one young man, his mother brought him to Egypt. She was having trouble with him. And we went to the area of Kamumbo. And Kamumbo has carved in stone. That's why I refer to the Neterhets, or divine houses, who refer to the temples today, as books in stone. And there you can see the medical instruments, Imhotep. That inspired this young man so much, King Simon. I saw him years later, and he told me at that time he was in med school. Because of what he witnessed, that shows the power of knowledge. It has the same effect as a football and a basketball.
Wow.
All right. Once you're able to see yourself in it. So he saw this Grand Master Imhotep, a physician 2,000 years before Hippocrates, a Grand Master who built the world's first stone building, and then also seeing the medical instruments that he used. And then he went on to med school. Wow. I'm sure he's a doctor now. So, I mean, it's been an absolutely great journey that I would not trade for nothing in the world. And above all, my journey going back there many years, and Mary Raw came with her family in 1992, and we met in Egypt.
Wow.
In 1991, prior to her coming, I walked through the temple. the temple of Ipit-Asut, the most select and holy of places, Amen Ipit-Asut.
Yes.
And I walked through those 134 massive 79-foot columns, and I called on Amen. I said, I've given praise to thee. I've given homage to thee. And now my enemies all around me. I need a Netter divine wife, to be on my side. And she came the next year. And that's why we give when we take the tours, we give it to you in that balance that we started this conversation out with.
Yes, sir. Yes,
from the African man and woman's point of view, that the spiritual laws of opposites, because she's able to see some things that I couldn't see.
That's right.
And that's why we need that balance. That's so important. And so we have if you can't make the trip, we have videos on our website. And some of these videos are made right there on our educational tour. All right. So it can even prepare you to go on the tour.
That's right.
So a lot of information, but we look forward to coming to New York, and we're going to have a great time. And we come with images, because images shape our reality. Most of us got a tail live vision.
Yes, sir.
In our room with 90-inch, 100-inch, pretty soon to be 200 inches.
Yes, sir.
How often do we see ourselves on there? That's within question. But that's why we come with the visual documentation. And then I try to make you feel like you're there, all right? That you're right there with us, with the information, as well as disseminating a lot of the information and how things were plagiarized, stolen, and corrupted. And so this lecture is going to be a great time, and we want the family to come out. We need the teachers. We started this program with the young generation, a new generation, because, one of the problems that we have is that a lot of things that you and I know, King Simon, we should have known at day one.
That's right.
It should have been taught to us. But most of the time we get into this knowledge when our lives, in some cases, are just, halfway. Sometimes people call me and said, wow, Brother Kwesi, I want to learn this. And the first thing I ask, well, how old are you? Well, I'm 55. Well, your best part of your life is gone, but you got a little bit left.
Yeah.
So we need to pass it down to the children, and that way they can start it. That's why we had two of my grandchildren were on the trip this summer, my grandson and granddaughter.
Yes.
And my granddaughter she's getting ready to enroll into Hampton, and the paper she wrote from her experience in Kemet, it blew us away.
Wow.
I mean, she wrote this paper, brother. It was like, we're talking about a genetic memory bank opening up.
Wow. Wow.
I wish I had the paper right here to read. You wouldn't believe she wrote the paper.
Man, wow. I'm proud of her.
The power of knowledge, the power of the Netherland, the original Holy Land, right there in the northeastern part of Africa. Right there, the fallopian tube, and that's the now itself.
That's right. That's right. Last thing, Baba, I just want to show you some pictures. It's not set up yet because I got to go over there Friday. I'm more than likely going to come to the airport with Tad to pick you up.
Yeah, he told me you might be the one.
Yeah, because I want to make sure security's tight. You know how I roll. That's what we do. I learned that under Dr. Khaled years ago.
Oh, yeah. Brother Khaled and I, we used to roll together. And
I know. That's why, I had to come. Matter of fact, before you came on, I interviewed Brother Arthur Muhammad, who used to bodyguard Khaled. And he's now the New York representative of Minister Farrakhan in New York City here. So I had to interview him because I grew up in the minister's class while under Khaled and Conrad back in the day. So
my second lecture, Brother King Simon, that I ever did was at Temple Number 27 in L.A.
In L.A., yes,
my
sir.
Second lecture, actually, Brother Khaled, at that time I knew him as Rashidin. And his son was going to Marcus Garvey School. My daughter was going to Marcus Garvey School, so I see him every day. So he heard that I went to Kemet. In 1981, he heard I went to Kemet. He said, well, I want you to come to the mosque and do a lecture. And that was my second lecture. My first lecture was the African Gnostic Studies under Dr. Lagan, one of the earliest and first Black bookstores in LA. They're now ancestors. Wow. Peace be upon Brother Khaled. He was a spiritual warrior.
Yeah, I spoke to his son the other day for his birthday. I called him. Me and him in contact with each other all the time. He's definitely speaking like his father, and he's mentioning his father more now than ever. So I'm glad that Farrah Gray is doing his youngest son is stepping out.
Okay. The one I'm referring to, the one that went to
Kalfani.
Yeah, Kafani. I think he lives in Atlanta now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. I've seen Farrah Gray. He's in Chicago. But
Kafani looks just like him.
I can't wait to run into him. I am going to run into him. I know that. Let me just show them the venue. This is how the venue looks. It's a narrow venue, but it's a long with a lot of seats. We're going to have we have a few vendors. I didn't put too many vendors, but just you and 3-4 other vendors. That's it. and that's where the vendors are going to be held, but it's going to be seated more. I want to show people that this is where we're going to be at. Got alkaline food in the front with alkaline smoothies and all that. I only got your stuff prepared. I'm gonna have your food prepared, by people that I've had.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. A lot of times when the show's over, the food is gone and the people.
No, I told them they got a whole one for you. Make sure it's fresh and cooked, man. I don't care how it goes, because I know I remember how you said it. And family, if you show this flyer at the door, and you get a $10 discount at the door with this from the door price with this flyer discount with a snapshot. If you're taking a snapshot of this flyer or the actual flyer, this is what I'm trying to help y'all save some money.
You know, that's our wedding in Kemet picture.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But
yeah, Dr. Ben did the ceremony for us back in 93. Yeah, that's our wedding picture there.
Yeah,
that's a great picture. It may not look like me now, but that's me there.
Hey, don't worry, it's you, sir. It's definitely you. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely you. But I appreciate you, Baba. Yeah. I appreciate you. Thank you. Remember, we're going to be at the Alkaline Oasis. That's at 958 Halsey Street in Brooklyn, New York. The code over there is 11233. If you want to drive, if you're driving from out of town in the tri-state area, Baba Ashra Kwesi, only appearance in New York is going to be right there at the Alkaline Oasis. Last week, Kaba Hiawatha, Booker T. Coleman shouted you out, said y'all was going to be here at his lecture. So we gonna do what we got to do. And again, show this flyer at the door. You get a discount.
Liberate.
Yeah, show this flyer at the door, family. You get a discount, a $10 discount at the door from the door price, because the door price is a little higher, but I'm going to give you a $10 discount to show you love. And anybody that gets an email from Baba Ashra Kwesi's email list, I will honor the price that he put up there, because it went up already. I started at $25, Baba. I always do this tier system to try to get people in, but they always wait till late, the last minute.
I would like to have that flyer if you can send it to us, and we make sure we send it out again.
Oh, sure. I'll send it out. I'll send that to you too.
We don't have that one. We don't have that one there.
Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to, just in case they can't buy the tickets immediately. They can come right to the door and get a discount. That's the flyer right there. I'll email it to you right after we get off. All right. So tell your beautiful wife how you say it in Kemetic language. What's the wife's name?
Neterhem.
Neterhem. Please tell your that divine wife, divine companion. Please tell I send my greetings. Can't wait to see y'all. Can't wait to see y'all. All
right. It's always great, brother. You're out there on the front line walking in this EMC. You trample down all the evil, brother, so we can go forward.
Man, that's right. All right, get yourself some rest, Baba, and we'll talk. I'll see you. And we're doing Brother Richard's show tomorrow. So at 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time. Okay.
Yeah, let's get that time together.
Yeah. I'll send you the link because you and I are going to be going up. Okay.
Great, brother.
All right.
Hotep is on it, brother.
Hotep. All right. That's our brother, Baba Ashra Kwesi, in the building, out of the building. He's going to be here. Remember, show this flyer discount. Take a snapshot of it right now if you can, or go to my IG and get it. Any one of the flyers you get. If you've seen one of these flyers out there, please bring it to the venue or just take a snapshot, and I will honor it. $10 discount off with this flyer right here. This flyer, not this flyer. This flyer is not on the street. This flyer is on the street. All right. So if you want to go to venue, you might find some at Nicholas, Brooklyn, or just like I say, take a snapshot right now. Take a snapshot of it right now and bring it to the venue. Snapshot or the actual flyer. You get 10%. $10 off. $10 off the door price. Okay. And again, this is the venue. Of course, he got Notorious B.I.G. on the floor there. He got a whole mural over there with different pictures of Dr. Sabi and different people. That is the venue. That's where the vendors are going to be on that side. And of course, on this side, we're going to have the seating all the way to the stage. That's the venue right there. Alkaline Oasis. In the front, you can get your alkaline drinks. You can get your smoothies, your sea moss, all of that stuff. Even Victor's stuff is going to be, Victor Bowman's stuff is going to be there. Then KT's product is also there on sale. The honey is also there on sale. Big up to Victor. I just seen him on Instagram. Big up to Victor. Seen his whole crew on Instagram. Big up to Victor. And I don't know if he's passing through. I don't know if he's in town, but this is going to be a historical event. And I love that he's going to bring the history, because that dispels the mystery when you bring the history. All right. So family, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Wasn't going to be a long program. I want to thank Baba Ashra Kwesi for coming up. Right now, the tickets are $40 until the 22nd. If you're going to go through Linktree, it's Linktree/King Simon the Numerator, and you'll go straight to my Eventbrite link through my Linktree. But if you want to avoid the link, the Eventbrite surcharges, just text me 347-496-1022 to get the Cash App or the PayPal, and you can avoid the surcharges through Linktree if you don't want to use Linktree. Or simple, just bring the flyer, take a snapshot of this flyer, bring it to the door, get $10 off. $10 off at the door. Remember, children 13 years and younger are absolutely free. Just make sure they're not making a bunch of noise while he's doing the lecture, please. Make sure they're not noisy children. Make sure they're writing and they can jot down and write. They're not going to be playing on their phones. They're not doing all of that craziness. We want them to learn their history so they can dispel the mystery. Okay, learn their history so they can dispel the mystery of this society. And then believe, guess what? With the history, they always had a food with them too. So that's why I like what Muata Ashby does. He shows you the Kemetic diet throughout his stuff. Dr. Muata Ashby and his wife. I'm trying to get Dr. Muata Ashby for years. I know he has a whole pattern that he does with, but Muata Ashby actually brings the vegetarian or the proper eat good foods from Kemet, from Africa, and he teaches like that. So he would be definitely a good resource to have over there alongside with Victor Bowman, alongside Zave or whoever the family is, whichever family is teaching nowadays for Dr. Sabi. Any one of Dr. Africa's family should be there. All of that should be going on over there at the Alkaline Oasis. So this coming Saturday, family, the 23rd of September, which happens to be Ray Charles' birthday. Big up to the late, great Ray Charles. Show this flyer and you will get a discount at the door. Take a snapshot of it right now. I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take your snapshot and you will get a $10 discount at the door, courtesy of Brother King Simon and Kemet New Production. You know, we're trying to get people in. Remember, young people are 13 years and younger are absolutely free. I love for the young people to learn, especially those young people that really astute and write down what's going on. All right. So family, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. I'm getting ready to close out. Just want to remind everybody that after this, I'm going to this. I'll be at Nicholas, Brooklyn from around 9 o'clock. I'll be there. This starts around, doors open at 8 for this, but it starts around 9 o'clock for this album release party for Wisdom. Eddie Belez he's the husband of my young cousin, Nakeba. And do support our sponsors. This is one of our sponsors, Dr. Shakira Moore, iridologist, superstar iridologist and spiritual teacher. And go to a Linktree, Holistica Healer. And of course, Lloyd Strayhorn is one of my sponsors also. The world-renowned astronumerologist. He did a great job with Brother Rich last night, tore the place up, and I was in the chat just putting up his stuff. Tariq Moore, make sure you hit him up for specializes in cruises, weddings, destination, hotel flights, car rental, restaurants, and more. Drop Squad Kitchen, when you're in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware, tell Abundance Child and the family that King Simon sent you, 928 Justin Street, Wilmington, Delaware. If you want some good, original, handmade, they like Tiger Balm. It's like Tiger Balm, but it's good for the muscle after a good workout, soothing massage, all of that. Contact EPS Holistic Health and Wellness.square.site. That's my son and his beautiful Empress site. And remember, go to Nicholas, Brooklyn, get 10% off. Take a snapshot of this. I'm going to count to 10. You can take this snapshot and you'll get 10% off all retail prices at Nicholas, Brooklyn and Nicholas Culture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a snapshot of it and tell them King Simon sent you. And remember, family, if you want to go on that 15-day trip, historical trip, call Baba Ashra Kwesi today, tomorrow, whatever. Leave a message. If you get the voicemail, leave a message. They will call you back. 214-371-0206. That's 371-0206, 214, the area code. If you want any of my books or 4 of my books thus far, you can get it through Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. You want to take any of my class, go to the same Linktree. You want to take my 8-hour class, go to the Linktree. If you want to book a session, a serious session with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. Remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Sirius says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And let's close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayers. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. Remember, family, this is what we're doing. Support Dr. Blair, support Dr. B. Sirius. This is Dr. Blair's website, themetacenter2.com. That's themetacenter2.com. This is Dr. B's Linktree, Linktree/Dr. B. Sirius. That's Linktree/Dr. B. Sirius. I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have a laugh and share some knowledge. I hope to see all of you this coming Saturday as Baba Ashra, Kwesi, and Mary Rock Crazy come in. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God. Dr. Khalid said, up you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. Marcus Mosiah Garvey said, and still we rise. Maya Angelou said it well. Have a great day, family. I hope to see you this coming Saturday with Baba Ashra Kwesi. On Saturday, September 23rd from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Alkaline Oasis in Brooklyn. Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mary Rock Kwesi returns to Brooklyn, New York after 4 years. Get your early bird tickets right now by texting 347-496-1022. Remember, they'll be teaching about the ancient history of Africa, Kemet, and also they're going to touch on Cleopatra. So get your tickets, 347-496-1022. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers. It's the numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. That's KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon the Numerator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. Go now. in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, motivation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes.